Hi, my name's Ann Cuba. I'm the president and CEO of Make-A-Wish Central and Northern Florida, and I'm so excited to be joined by Justin Core with Core Group Real Estate today. Hi, Justin.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your involvement with Make-A-Wish. And so, Justin, tell me a little bit about how you got involved with Make-A-Wish.
It was very organic. I mean, invites to things that were happening in the community, just connecting with people that were already involved, and real quickly was able to see that, hey, this is something we could really sink our teeth into and get behind. So just so much. What I love about Make-A-Wish is that there's really a direct connection between dollars raised and, ultimately an end result and making a kid's wish, come true. And so it's very touching compared to, maybe other opportunities out there of investing time and resources.
So yeah, you can see the smiles on the faces right in the pictures of the wishes that are being able to be granted. Why do you feel like it's important from a company level? There's so many organizations to support, great organizations in our community. Why from a company level, Make-A-Wish?
We really push into our team to have something that they can push into. I think having organizations that they can sink their teeth into is important. So we just really, we don't force everyone to be involved in Make-A-Wish necessarily. But as a company, we really want Make-A-Wish to be one of those that we're pushing into. And so personally for me, it's just been where I've wanted to spend my time with the people that are involved here, the organization, the mission, and everything that's gone there. So in doing that, we've helped bring a lot of people, from our office and from our organization into the fray. So
yeah, you really pulled a lot of people in from your network as well. And so we're so appreciative of that. One of the things, not only have you jumped on board from a company partnership level, but talk about your board involvement, because you've been on the board now for several years. And so that involves giving back on an individual time basis. And you're a busy guy, got a lot of stuff going on between professional and personal responsibilities. And so the fact that you choose to give your time as well to Make-A-Wish by volunteering and serving on our board, we are very grateful. And so can you share a little bit about why you chose to join the board and what that experience has been like?
I don't think I went in necessarily eyes wide open. I think it was something you kind of get involved in and you realize, okay, this is a group of people I would love to serve with. It's an organization I'd love to serve. And I think, it's one thing to give of money and resources. It's another to devote your time. I think it's even more precious. And so, I am very, strategic with how we do that. And I think it's a very efficient use of our time with the impact that we can have at the board level. Our board meetings are run in a way that feels like we're really making a difference, right? Versus I've been involved with organizations where we meet to meet. Yeah, we throw a bunch of opinions out and nothing really happens. And so I feel like we're actually doing something. And so the use of time is important as well. So, but yeah, I've been involved. I don't even know how long now, longer than I, really care to count. It goes fast. We've done different roles throughout that time. And really seeing the network and the group of people grow in that time has been really exciting, in addition to, really growing our wish count and everything we're doing in that regard.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And it's been really cool. We do something called wish sprints too in our board meetings, where we ask our board members for assistance on different wishes that we're granting in the community. And so the reason why I highlight that is it's so important for companies to understand that it's not only the monetary support that it's important, and of course we need that to be able to continue granting wishes, but it's also in-kind support. And so it's still needing services and materials to wishes. Can you maybe touch on that from your board experience and that perspective of seeing like how much of an impact that can make at a company level?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, and this would apply directly to me, like, probably my first time coming into a board meeting, I felt, it's a who's who from the hospitals and the theme parks and everybody throughout Orlando, right? I mean, there's a lot of companies. I mean, we're very small in relation to, all these companies. And so question was, how could I have an impact here, right? Obviously, I'm not going to be the biggest donor or moving, funds from these major corporations, but it became very apparent that, we need to move with people in the community who can help these wishes come true, right? And so the connection to the contractor or somebody who can put together a swing set or, a florist. And it's always these unique things that we don't know we need until we need them, and so that's been my career, has been building connections in the community. And so I would say for anybody considering getting involved or being a part of the board, there's so many needs, but it's very cool when we can really connect dots with somebody in our community, somebody in our network who can help one of these wishes come true.
Yeah, and that's what we as staff rely on, is the network of our volunteers and our board members to connect us to the right people in the community. I think you bring up such a great point that it's not just the large businesses. Sometimes people think, well, to get involved, I have to have a huge budget from a funding level to be able to fund and help a nonprofit. It's the small things from an in-kind standpoint to small donations. Every little bit counts and every little bit adds up. So thank you for bringing that point. Tell me what it's like as a dad, hearing some of the Wish stories and seeing some of the Wish kids at some of our events and feeling that impact. What does that mean to you as a dad and a family guy?
Try not to cry. That's about it. I can't imagine, what some of these families have gone through. So yeah, and to see the, just a sense when they're in those moments, seeing a sense of, peace in the midst of the storm, some excitement, some joy when you're going through probably the worst thing you can possibly imagine. If that doesn't tug at your heartstrings, I don't know what does. So, and it's so exciting to see that, because any of us could put ourselves in those positions, right? When you're hearing the stories of these parents. So, you pray you never go through that, but you pray if you do that, there's somebody from Make-A-Wish is there to kind of help ease the pain a little bit.
Thanks for sharing that. What moment stands out to you? There's so many, we get asked this a lot, like what's our favorite wish? What's our favorite moment? So it's hard to pick just one, but if you had something that stood out to you of a story that you've heard through any of our board meetings or at any of our events, what is one that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think all of them are exciting in their own way for sure. The ones that, probably are most interesting to me are the kids that have these wishes that they're definitely a kid's wish. It's great when everyone goes on a trip. It's great but when a kid wishes to be a superhero for a day, there's some that just seem so simple, yet in a kid's mind is like the greatest thing in the world. Those are what's exciting, because it's truly something that they dreamed up, and being able to put, some time to make these things happen is just unbelievable.
Yeah, we had a robot superhero wish just a couple years ago, and we are actually going to be granting another one in March. Super Cooper, he's 3 years old, and he wants to be a superhero
something
for
like
the day.
my kid would come up with.
Yeah,
It's
just the heart of an imagination of a child, and that's what it's all about, right? And it's the Make-A-Wish way of getting it to be even bigger and more impactful. As we wrap up, I wanted to give you this pin as a thank you on behalf of our entire organization, our team members. We're so grateful and thankful to you, Justin, and to your entire team, because it's not only you, it's your entire team at Core Group that really participates in our events and has such a heart and passion for Make-A-Wish. But this is just it's a star pin. It lights up and it glows in the dark, so it lights up, and it's just a symbol for the light that you bring and your organization brings to Make-A-Wish and to our Wish kids. And we're so thankful for your support.
I appreciate it so much, Ann.
Thanks, Justin.